What is going on, guys? Today we're in the kitchen and we're actually going to do a really fun video. I'm going to give you 5 SEO tips that I've actually gathered over the last 3-4 months that I've been doing SEO and building niche websites. And these are really useful tips that I think any site should be using if you are doing search engine optimization. So make sure you stay tuned as we're going to get into those 5 tips right about now. Alright, so the first most important part might be, what am I actually cooking today? And that's actually an interesting question because I'm going to be cooking some steak and chips, so good old traditional standard English kind of meal. Going to be doing some steak and let me see what cut I've got here actually. I've got the rump steaks, I've got 2 rump steaks and I'm going to be frying that up and cooking that with some chips. So I've got the chips already cooked and they're just like staying warm in some foil, and then I'm going to be putting that together. So I might mess up my meal whilst I'm trying to do this video, but I wanted to change the environment because I always do, inside of the office area all the time. So I wanted to make something different for you guys and make the video a bit more enjoyable. Alright, so the first tip that I've got is you put the mushrooms with the steak. No, I'm really joking. So what it is first tip number 1 is you should always be making your posts or your articles on the back of search. Now this is just like, the most obvious thing of SEO, but it's shocking of how many people don't actually do this. So people are wondering sometimes why they're not getting search, and it's because they're creating their own titles. So when I'm saying making it on the back of search, you need to actually have a keyword inside of your title or your article that you're trying to target. So that means it needs to be something that's actually being suggested by Google's search box. So if you were to go to Google or YouTube or any of these platforms, mainly Google if you're trying to rank on Google, you would see that when you type a few set words or whatever, there's an auto suggest that comes out listed. You only want to use those as your keywords. Now, you don't want to just use that alone. What you want to do is called diluting the keyword. So you want to use the keyword along with a few other words that then kind of tone it down. So Google doesn't think you're just trying to purely, kind of game the system in that sense. So you want to, if it was like how to shave with a razor, it might be how to shave with a razor and foam, or how to shave with a razor this year 2019, or however you want to put it. So those extra additional words that you put on can be anything of your choice. And what I usually do is put qualifiers there. So that would be words that someone might want someone might want to see, in that sense, that will entice them to click through onto your actual website when they see it on Google. Yeah, so if we're talking about a razor or something like that, then it could be like how to shave with a razor blade with no foam, or no foam needed, or something like that. So that will really entice someone to think, oh, how can he do it with no foam? Or how to shave with a razor blade, wet shave anywhere, or no water needed, dry shave, or something like that. Whatever it is that that reader's trying to get out of the actual post or article, then obviously that's what you need to include inside of your title to entice them to actually click and then go through. Okay, so it's about time to get my steak in as well, so I'm going to start putting that oil in there. Okay, so I'm just going to get a bit of oil in the pan and just move that about a bit. Don't want too much, just a little bit. Okay, now the next thing you're going to want to do is also install SSL certificates. So what SSL certificates are is basically the form of changing your site from HTTP to HTTPS, which is secured. Now what that means is basically all of the sensitive the information on your website is encrypted, so it's protected from hackers or any third parties trying to get into your site that might have ulterior motives in that sense. Okay, so what it is you really want to install it with a plugin. I use Really Simple SSL. I recommend that plugin, and then more times than not your actual hosting provider will provide you with the certificate. So once you install the plugin, it will pick up on your hosting, and then you'll be able to go through and install it. It's really simple. I've actually got a video on this YouTube channel that you can check out about installing your SSL. Okay, so it's about time to get those steaks in now, so I'm just gonna drop them right in. Let's make sure that heat's nice and hot. Okay, and I'm just gonna drop that steak in. So just gonna get that in. And I like my steak medium rare, you know, so I don't cook it too much. So the next one I've got here is sitemaps, and that's what you need as well. You need to be installing sitemaps on your site. So what sitemaps do is basically allow search engines to crawl your site and better understand it. So for example, if you've got different categories on your site, different, you know, subtopics and whatever else, it will allow search engines to understand your site a lot better, which will in turn increase your rankings. So this is a really good, you know, beneficial tip for SEO specifically, because if you are obviously, you know, not using sitemaps or anything like that, then it might be quite difficult for search engines or Google or whoever to actually understand what your website is really about. So it can increase your relevancy and trust with search engines, which again in turn will actually help your rankings as well. All right, so I'm just gonna get back to that steak and take a look. Okay, so the last tip that I've actually got is keyword density. Now, I better manage that steak at the same time. Now, keyword density, what that is basically how many times you should be using your keyword within your articles. So, like, what can easily happen, and what I've noticed over the last 3-4 months, is that, you know, if I overuse the keyword, you over-optimize your site, and sometimes it doesn't even show up on the rankings. So that's in the SERPs, which is the search engine ranking position. Okay, so like you sometimes can overdo it in that sense, yeah. Like what I've found to work for me, I roughly do articles about 2,000 to 2,500 words. If I use the keyword like once or twice, it's usually good, 3-4 times, but it all depends on the length of the keyword and also what competitors are doing, so what Google want to see for that keyword. So the best way to get that information for SEO purposes from a technical standpoint is to actually go to the top 10 sites that are ranking on Google for either that keyword or specific, similar terms. So for example, if you notice that your actual website is, you're trying to target a specific keyword that the other site is not targeting, say for example, you're targeting best workout tips 2018 or something like that, but then the other site has best bicep workouts 2018. Now, even though that site is not specifically targeting the same as that keyword, they're still ranking for your keyword. So what you would want to do is basically check how many times they're using their keyword in the actual article per 1,000 words. And that will give you a good indication as how many times you need to use it in yours. Now, in some cases, if you find that, for example, the keyword is being used like 10 times inside of that article, I personally wouldn't go in with 10 times on yours, even if you got the same amount of words. I would probably half that and go with like 4 or 5 times, and then if need be, you can increase it to help yourself in the rankings later. But don't go straight in with that unless you've got a specific tool that gives you keyword density. If you're doing it by the naked eye, then, or manual search in that sense, then that's what I would go by. Let me just get back to that. And that's about it, guys. Really and truly, that's the 5 tips. Like, so it's not like the most amazing tips or anything like that, or all this advanced stuff, but not being funny. A majority of the time, what you realize with anything that you do in life, it's the basic stuff that makes up around 80 to 80% of what you do. You know, 20% probably is just the advanced stuff that moves you incrementally. But to actually move forward takes consistent hard work and really and truly just basic techniques, you know, and that's what's really going to get you to the next level. So I hope you enjoyed the video. This was a bit different to the usual ones that I do. If you want to see more things like this where I'm in the kitchen cooking up some steak or whatever, or if you want to see how the steak turned out, I use that as the thumbnail actually. So that will be the thumbnail, is the steak dinner after I actually made it. But yeah, I hope this, you know, was a good video for you, and if you like it, make sure to smash the like, and if you are new, make sure to subscribe. We're trying to grow this channel to 1,000 subs by the end of this year, so you know, not exactly the biggest amount of subs, but I'm happy, you know, at least I'm sharing all my knowledge with you guys, and you know, meeting up with different people in the community, because a lot of you I speak to on Facebook as well. So yeah, hope that was useful, and peace. I'll speak to you soon.